Welcome to Sports Ramble, podcast where these dumb dipshits ramble about sports. My name is Joe Silik. I'm joined by the one and only Big D Dennis Pond. And Corban couldn't be with us tonight, so we found this guy out back digging in the trash. And we said, hey, let's have this guy on tonight. Mr. Nate Truitt, everyone. Say hi, Nate.
How we doing, everyone? How we doing?
Well, the Heisman winner was announced yesterday. Capital won the match, was played yesterday, and a whole mess of NFL crap happened today. Some big upsets, some interesting storylines. We'll all dive into that. But first off, I think we should talk about the Heisman. What do you guys think?
I respect it. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. I'll say that. That's fair, right?
Yeah, that's totally fair. Nate, do you have any opinions on Caleb Williams being the Heisman winner in 2022?
My opinion might be a bit controversial, as I think that Max Duggan actually got snubbed from it. Might get a lot of hate from that, but it's up to the committee to decide.
Have you seen the podcast before, Nate?
No.
So we're all three of us are huge Max Duggan guys. Huge Max Duggan guys. Max Duggan, he was my Heisman. He was Corban's Heisman. He was Joe's Heisman. But I think all three of us agreed we would not be upset if Caleb Williams won. You could almost predict that Caleb Williams was going to win with the stats he had.
Yeah.
My problem comes, and I saw this online. This isn't my opinion. I don't know where I saw it. If you win to win the Heisman, two things. One, you can't lose to the same team twice, right? Like, your Heisman moment can be redemption against the one team you lost to, but you can't lose to the same team twice and the second time get blown out. Regardless of injury, that's not how it works. And another thing is, like, I saw a comment on Instagram, I think, talking about, on the Heisman's like website or whatever, it says it goes to a player of like outstanding character, right? Dude had "fuck Utah" painted on his fingernails.
Yeah.
Is that outstanding character, realistically? No.
No, I think going off what you said, his story is great, coming from Oklahoma, going to California.
Oh, great for Lincoln Riley. Like,
yeah. Absolutely.
3 Heismans in the last 6 years?
Yeah, insane. The guy's pumping them out. Yeah. But the story's cool and all of him transferring with Lincoln Riley and all that. But who was he sitting behind at Oklahoma? It was Rattler, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's another interesting storyline you can get to. But I think Max Duggan, the guy, he was pouring his heart out. That team, I think a big point for the Heisman is does the player help completely change the dynamic of the team? And I think Max Duggan is one of those players. I don't think Stetson Bennett was ever one of those players, but I think Max Duggan was.
Stetson Bennett is not.
I think Max Duggan is the definition of that. Is that
without Hooker should have been on that stage instead of Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. Max Duggan is one of the definitions of that. He's like, that team rallies behind his emotion, his charisma, his energy, his leadership. Exactly. And that's just something you didn't see with Stetson Bennett I don't think Caleb Williams was also that guy. I don't think he was that guy off field. I don't think he was that guy on the field. But he was an incredible. I'm not discounting his football ability. Guy is great with the ball. No question. I don't think any of us can disagree with that. He's an outstanding football player. But
yeah. I would say one thing is you got to look at TCU. You got to look at this Cinderella story that Max Duggan and that team have put together, like this season alone. Realistically going into the season, no one expected them to be where they are. No one expected to see them in the college football playoffs. And I just think that the leadership of Max Duggan, that should have been something that's taken seriously into account when deciding the Heisman Trophy.
Well, I think it was. That's why he was on the stage. If you look at his stats, they weren't popping off the page, right? So that definitely was taken into account, I would say.
And it really came up late in the season that he became a serious conversation piece for the Heisman. Yeah.
And I know you guys see this acceptance speech last night by Caleb Williams?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
The funniest thing, he's like, yeah, I might have won this, but all three of you guys are in the playoff.
Yeah. And that's another point to make too. Sorry, go ahead.
He said he was like, I'll be watching from my couch.
Yeah. That's another good point too. Is like the other three are playing for national.
Wait, so is that? So does that makes me think a little bit? Did the committee look at it kind of like a consolation for not making the playoff? Like, okay, he didn't make the playoff. Let's at least give him the Heisman. Do you think that had anything to do with it?
I don't think so. Well, hold on. Does he go? Does he have another year or no?
I think he has another year of eligibility.
Okay.
And he's gonna take it. Yeah.
So there's always next year for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Another thing, since we're talking about Heisman's, I saw all these stat lines and I was like, man, nothing compares to Joey Burrow, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. 5,700 passing yards, 60 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 73 or 76% completion percentage?
Yeah, it was insane.
And he was the Heisman.
Yeah.
I feel like
no
they
one
shouldn't
else
give out the, if you don't meet that bar, they shouldn't give the award out that year. That's my opinion.
I'd agree with that.
Or give it to a defensive.
Yeah. Nate, do you have anything to add to the Heisman talk before we kind of get it moving on from it?
I think I've said my piece.
Dennis, anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, moving on to the next topic we got to talk about tonight, I wanted to bring up the match that was played on Saturday. We talked about it on Thursday, talking about Tiger with Rory playing against Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. And I tell you what, I don't know if you guys watched it at all or any of it, but I watched the whole thing. And damn, does JT look freaking good. Old man Tiger's out there limping.
He's been looking good for.
Yeah.
He's had a good stretch, I'll say that.
He has. And with Jordan Spieth being his hype man back there, Spieth made some good shots, but JT with the putter, I don't know if anyone saw the clip where he's just like, he sinks this long putt on might have been the second or third hole, and he goes.
There's a word for that. Electric.
It really was. And it was so much fun to watch because everyone's in the match is always fun because you got Charles Barkley talking shit to all four of them in their ear while they're trying to play golf. They're all giving each other crap from whatever. Like there was one point Tiger was trying to put his cart in someone's way, and they took the key out of his cart and they run around. So like in the guy's backswing, he hits the reverse button on the cart. So it goes right while he's trying to swing. It was just some gimmicks and stuff like that. But I'm a little worried about
the three of us go out and play golf.
Exactly. It looks like we get together. Except a lot better golf is being played.
Right. Well, we're not talking about the stroke count.
Yeah, but the entertainment factor is there.
Oh, 100%. But no, Tiger looked a little rough. He was limping around on a couple of those greens. I'm a little worried about him going forward playing this. I mean, he's not going to be playing much, but I'm still a little worried about him. But Rory, I don't know what the hell Rory was doing. He looked awful. And Jordan Spieth, here's one point he said, come on, Jordan, do some Jordan Spieth type shit.
Do some Jordan Spieth shit.
Yeah, but it was pretty fun. Like I said, listening to Charles Barkley just talk shit to all of them and really just makes it so much better. They've really gotten this thing nailed down in 7 iterations of the match. And then this time they did it under the lights, like they did it at night in Florida, under lights, 12 holes. They only used 10 of them because Spieth and JT just blew Woods and Rory out by 3 holes. They were done by the 10th hole. So it was awesome to watch. I'm excited to see what Tiger does this upcoming weekend at the PNC with Charlie. And I don't know if anyone saw that Tiger said Charlie finally outdrove him just a couple of weeks ago. 13-year-old Charlie Woods is out driving the greatest golfer of all time. So
go ahead.
Charlie Woods is like the next him. Like he's
I was gonna say, could you make the prediction that he could be the next Tiger? Like, could he uphold the standard that his father has held for so many years?
He could play as well. I don't think he'll be like the next GOAT, but he will play at the same level.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's going to be insanely good. I mean, it's going to be so exciting to see what he does.
The best part of so many great players' game, and like you look at like his different shots he's making, like the different clubs, he plays each one like you can see a clear resemblance to one of the greats.
Yeah, he just needs to keep his off the course mind focused because that's What'd you say?
Not like his father's.
Yeah, exactly. He just needs to stay focused. But I mean, like you said, he's grown up around some of the best golfers of all time. Like Tiger's even said, I said this last week. Tiger said to Charlie, don't look at my swing 100%. Look at Rory's. Take whatever you can from Rory's and then just use your raw power. And it's like, it's working for him. It'll be great to see what he does this weekend at the PNC.
Fair, Tiger only hits his driver, 295?
No, he hits it further than that.
I don't know. I saw it today, 295.
No, lately. Well, the man's had
That's
like 3 back surgeries. Were you hitting the ball 300 yards at 13?
Not at 13, but now, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Anyhow. What did you guys see?
Flex, but I outdrive Tiger Woods. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Consistently and in the fairway?
Recently, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. How's that short game of yours?
We're not talking about that. We're talking about driving.
All right, boys. Let's move on to some crazy shit that happened today. Some seriously crazy shit. I was watching the Cowboys game this afternoon, and goddamn, they almost lost that game to the 1-10-1 Texans.
To the worst team in football.
The worst team, literally the worst team in football.
But there is the Houston Texans though, and they're the one team out of any team that will give you one. There's one game every year that either give the team a run for their money or will break a season just over like one specific game. Like it's hard. Like there's some team that like any team will be the best team in the league, and they play the Houston Texans and end up with a loss. You never. It's very unpredictable.
Well, that's any team though. That's why they say any given Sunday. Like
any given Sunday.
You're still in the NFL. You still got an athlete roster. But God, I would have loved to see that.
It would have been great for the to mess up the NFC East a little bit. But speaking of the NFC East, Nate, you want to talk about the Eagles today and how
I would love to talk about that.
This is why we brought you on, because we know that you have stock in the Eagles. You're a big Eagles guy, right?
We know some of your takes, some of your past takes.
Some of your past takes from 2021, 2020.
2020.
Alleged takes.
Okay. Well, anywho, go ahead and just tell us about the Eagles game, and then talk about the Eagles season if you like.
I honestly can't say any. There's nothing negative I can really say about the Eagles right now. Absolute stellar season so far. Probably one of the best seasons I've seen since I've been around, since even including the Super Bowl season. Like their team is just so put together from the backfield, from the O-line to the receiving core. There's staff there that I think no matter who they have on the field is just a team that can just give any team a run for their money.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have a question. Go ahead.
I'll say, especially with the connection between you got Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, like just that connection alone has just been something super special.
You guys really did fall into the AJ Brown situation, didn't you?
Something like that.
Titans full with the bag, my brother.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. But so you like Jalen Hurts, right? You're a big Jalen Hurts guy now.
Yeah.
Now you're a Jalen Hurts guy.
Hey,
would you call him a franchise quarterback?
I would say realistically, and I know you calling me out on my bullshit, but I will admit for a while I had my doubts. First year he was in the NFL, like he was not looking so hot. I'll admit I did not.
First year in the NFL, you were calling for them to get rid of his ass. I'll bring it up. I'll say it. I'll make everyone uncomfortable. I'll make Nate mad. I don't care. The boy's gonna ramble. You got to ramble on the ramble. You know what I'm saying?
I understand, man. But I'm telling you.
I'll call you out. You straight up said, get rid of this guy. He's a bum.
I said, and I quote, like what I said is from the beginning, I thought he could be a decent quarterback in the NFL, but I did not think he was going to stick around in Philadelphia. Now, that's not the case because he's grown as a player. Yes. I will admit that. Yes, he's grown into that role and he fits well with the team for who they are now. I have will say I have changed my opinion just based off of what I've seen between the connection between him and every single player on that field.
He's a leader. He's an athlete. He's a quarterback. He's him.
Man amongst boys.
He's my NFL MVP through 13 weeks?
Yeah. A complete animal, dude. Like his him and that Eagles team, it's just crazy to watch. It really is. AJ Brown and you got Smith out there. And it's awesome.
I remember, though, I was about to make a comment about him being a running back who can throw the ball. I remember 2015 watching the LSU-Alabama game, his freshman year at Alabama, and just being like, just dogging this guy about, oh, he's just a running back. He can't do anything except run the ball. Like, oh, like just talking crap because of how he was just dismantling LSU. And I could not stand him while he played at Alabama. Not a single lick.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, I really like Hurts. I love me some Jalen Hurts.
I think it's insane what he can do on the football field with that Eagles team. And it's scary considering I absolutely hate the Eagles.
And the Eagles team with over multiple players with over 1,000 yards apiece.
You guys are playing out of your minds this year.
Definitely something special to see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the playoffs exactly. But let's move away from the Eagles, and I kind of want to talk about the what the hell, the Chiefs almost losing to the Broncos.
Wait, first off, congrats to Russell Wilson. He threw more than one touchdown in a game. Didn't think you had it in you, brother. Like maybe you found your step. Looked like he got hurt, maybe.
Yes, he's actually been reported that he has a concussion and is out for the time being.
Wow, has one decent game, and he's probably done for 2 weeks. You love to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Who's their backup over there?
Raikian? Is that who it is?
Yep. He looked like he was playing all right, fitting in pretty well towards the end of that game, I think.
He threw a tutty.
He did.
He had like 4 completions for 16 yards and a touchdown last time I checked.
I mean, given, playing against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, like that is still like an achievement of its own, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they perform. That's probably one of their better games all season, to be honest with you. Yeah. How about, do y'all see that highlight of Mahomes with that blind, like, no look lob pass? It was insane, scrambling out.
We're not talking about Mahomes doing anything good on this channel. I think I made that.
Wait, you're not a Mahomes guy?
I hate Patrick Mahomes.
Why? Kermit the Frog?
I used to love the Chiefs when Alex Smith played for him. Chiefs were like a top 5 team for me. As soon as Mahomes came, I don't know what it was. Can't stand him. I see the color. I literally see red.
I think it was his brother and his wife that really did it in for me.
That was even a thing. It's just a Patrick Mahomes unbiased, disbiased.
Fair enough. But no, that game was. I think that was a good game. I didn't watch it, but I thought it was like looking at the scores and the highlights. It seemed like a very competitive, very good game. Moving right along. Well, we all know the Bengals put away the Browns. That's not surprising. Joe Burrow doing Joe Burrow things. What'd you say?
The Bengals gonna bangle, baby.
It is still pretty surprising though, considering previous to that, the last 3 times they played the Browns, they were 0 for 3.
Joe Burrow had not beat the Browns yet in his career.
I didn't know that.
This was his first one. Joe Burrow is Joe Shiesty, if you will.
Yeah.
He's
the
truth. I'll talk about Joe Shiesty for 6 hours. I don't care. we can burn up the whole podcast talking about Joe Shiesty.
Easily. What do you guys think about the going back to the NFC a little bit and kind of maybe shaking some stuff up? The Vikings losing to the Lions 34-23.
It doesn't shake anything up.
You don't think it changes a thing?
There's still the 2 seed.
I'll say for the Vikings perspective, I would not say it makes any much of a change. But for the Detroit Lions, I would say don't count them out just yet. Like I still think they can
still make a run at it. They can still make a run at it.
Actually, I think the Cowboys are the 2 seed now. Sorry.
No, because the Eagles are the 1 seed.
Yeah, but the Cowboys have the win over the Vikings. I know you can't technically have the 2 seed, but I'm saying from a level standpoint, ranking wise.
Yeah, ranking wise.
Yeah, from a 2 seed, you're right. I understand what you're saying, but
no, I mean, I think the Vikings, they had a BS touchdown call back. They could have won the game off that. Justin Jefferson, they called him out of bounds. It wasn't really out of bounds. They didn't review it.
Okay.
It was terrible. But I will say the Lions. I do like the Lions. My family's from Michigan.
Yeah.
We really the Lions look good. Not my team by any means.
No.
But the Lions look good. Dan Campbell is definitely the guy for the Lions. Jared Goff looks like a top 10 quarterback right now.
Out of nowhere, too.
Who would have ever thought?
And it's not even like it's been this all season. It's been like halfway through the season. He just decided, like, oh, I'll play football today.
That offense has been good all year, though.
They have. They've had a lot of close games early in the season, close games that they would lose, but now they've figured out how to flip those games.
Like week 1 to the Eagles.
Yeah.
By what?
That's true.
Field goal?
Yep.
Just saying. The Lions could make a run at it.
They really could. They really could.
How about Seattle dropping the ball?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Losing one to the Panthers.
Who the hell is the quarterback in Carolina right now?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold? Okay.
Yep.
But yeah,
How are you going to lose to the Panthers?
I really don't know.
The NFC is just dog shit this year.
Except for the NFC East.
What?
Every team with a winning record.
It's insane.
They literally, last year, they called them the NFC least.
Yeah.
Now it's the NFC beast.
It's insane, dude. I don't understand it, but I'm, NFC's born and raised, just like Nate. We all are from the area that, these teams play in, and it's great to see some competitive football out of one of the most disappointing divisions historically. I'm here for it. Living in Texas now kind of sucks. Got to deal with these toxic Cowboy fans all the time, but they do have a team this year. I don't know what the hell happened against the Texans, but
one of my best friends at work is a huge Cowboys fan. So toxic.
It's so bad.
So toxic.
It's so bad.
And they're getting. I'll see him tomorrow at work, and he'll be bragging about, oh yeah, like we're 9. Was it 9-3?
10-3.
10-3. Like, oh yeah. I can't say anything. They won the fucking game.
Barely. It was horrible.
So toxic.
With Green Bay having a bye this week, and then who else is on a bye? I think the Colts are on a bye. Falcons. Washington on a bye.
I think that's it.
Yeah, but Washington being on that bye. I don't understand the schedule makers deciding, all right, Washington, you're going to play the Giants. You're going to go on a 2-week break, and then you're going to play the Giants again. You have 8 consecutive quarters against the same team.
I like it.
And I think it's interesting because they tied this first game.
Yeah, I was about to say, especially since you tied that first one.
No one has an edge other than Washington coming off a big rest, which could be good or bad.
And Saquon's kind of not looking like himself, which was the whole Giants thing, which, I mean, you guys played him really well, right? Like, he didn't have a huge game against you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But Saquon is looking maybe a little banged up. He hasn't been a full participant in practice every day. I don't know. I think as long as that bye week didn't make you guys kind of fall asleep, you'll be all right.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, with the Commanders, with 2 weeks of preparation going into that after playing them once and seeing them again 2 weeks later,
yeah, all they had to do for 2 weeks was plan to
prepare for this game,
and they knew exactly how the Giants played football, fresh on the mind.
Yep, I think it's a great situation for them to win this next game, take that 3rd spot, and hold that 3rd spot in the NFC East, and possibly end up with a good playoff position here. But I mean, I think it's also just crazy how this Washington team has gone on such a run in the last, since after week 5, pretty much. We've had all of the news headlines you could possibly imagine about our owner. This whole investigative report came out this past week, 79-page report outlining everything that the organization has done, every shady, horrible thing that Dan Snyder's ever done. It's just a horrible situation. Every single time you see the headlines, it's Washington Commanders, Washington football team, Washington, have done this. And it's like, how does a football team stay this closely organized and how do they stay as productive as they have been with all this horrible shit being thrown at them every single day? It's insane how Ron Rivera has been able to handle that team and keep their minds on football and not on what the organization's doing, what the higher ups are doing, what the front office is doing. Ron Rivera, I think, deserves all the credit, and he's done this in the last couple of years. He had cancer. He fought through it during the football season. His mom passed away a few weeks ago. He's still coaching through it. He got emotional after that big win. And it's like, you can't hate the guy. You got to love this dude.
Yeah.
He's keeping his team right where they need to be. He made the right decision keeping Heineke in, not starting Wentz when he got back to healthy, because you guys know my take on Wentz. I think he is the worst quarterback to ever walk the football field.
On Wentz.
Yeah. He's the most overpaid sack of useless bones and skin I've ever seen in my life.
And he's not paid much anymore.
He's still getting paid too much.
Too much, yes. I'm just saying, like, he's overpaid and he's not really, like, compared to other starting quarterbacks. Hey, all I know is Sam Howell in the next couple of years, he's the truth.
I'm curious to see what Washington does in the offseason in the quarterback position, because Heineke's been.
You don't need to do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Retain Heineke and keep Howell.
Because Howell's a damn good backup, yeah.
Because Howell's still on his rookie deal.
I don't remember what the contract for Wentz was, if it was a multi-year or 1 year.
I think it might have been like a 3-year.
Yeah.
But you'd probably be able to ship him out for someone. I don't know.
But it is also interesting with Bruce Allen he was the general manager of Washington. He was responsible for leaking John Gruden's emails where he said some no things way years ago. But Bruce Allen was the one that leaked them. But then Bruce Allen wasn't actually the one that leaked them. It was the Commanders organization. So I think it all comes down from Dan Snyder. And this just proves he's going to have to sell the team. How long have we been
saying Dan Snyder needs to go? Since middle school?
For years.
Literally since middle school.
Yeah.
And I know
yeah. It's been awful. But in this organization, he's going to end up, Dan Snyder's going to, he's been, indicted on this, that, and the other. Everyone wants a piece of Dan Snyder right now. He's going to walk away from selling the Washington Commanders, which they're going to have to change the name when someone buys it. We all know that. He's going to walk away with $10-11 billion, maybe, potentially. He's going to disappear. He's going to win this whole thing. He's not going to have to put the work in to rebuild this organization. He's not going to have to worry about any of that. The inflation on the Commanders alone.
I mean, it doesn't really need to be rebuilt right now.
Well, it does. You need a new stadium. FedEx Field is a hunk of garbage.
So the thing is,
and you have to rebrand the whole thing.
Commanders, do they relocate?
Yes, they absolutely 100% relocate. The position in Landover, Maryland is horrible. The stadium's horrible. They're either going to go back to DC and take over that RFK land, because that's only going to happen if Dan Snyder's out. DC has said that. They said, we don't want to work with Dan Snyder anymore. We want him gone. So they're not going to do anything until Dan Snyder's gone. The District of Columbia.
They relocate. Like,
oh, you mean like not become the Washington whatevers anymore?
Yeah.
No, because the fan base is still there. They've been through all this.
It's one of the most loyal fan bases. Like, I feel like you can't do that to them, but at the same time, like, maybe it's time for a fresh start.
Yeah, I think about it was something similar to Oakland too, like Oakland moving to Las Vegas. That fan base is still extremely loyal.
One of those super loyal fan bases.
It is. But I just don't think. I think
the Commanders is though. Its entire fan base is in that area. Oakland has fans everywhere, or Vegas has fans everywhere. Washington's fans are all in that Nova area.
Yep. West Virginia, maybe some of Maryland. It's really Virginia's team. And that's why I think they should move the stadium. What'd you say?
I said it's really the DMV area.
Yeah, but if you're in Maryland, you'll root for the Ravens. Yeah.
In part of it, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. We can get off. This is, not the most exciting thing to talk about is Washington's troubles, but it is hot
I'll say there's one big topic that happened in the NFL today I think we should talk about is the San Francisco 49ers. Pardon me, got a little baseball in my mind. And the Tampa Bay Bucks, our boy Mr. Irrelevant, going absolutely fucking nuts, beating Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks 35-7 is just insane to me.
Insane.
One late round irrelevant draft pick Old man, been in the league, has a couple Super Bowls. I don't remember the exact number. New late round draft pick quarterback beats the dog snot out of him.
Literally the last pick of the last draft.
Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy.
Mr. Brock, come on down.
Looked amazing in this game. Like,
absolutely.
Is it because no one has film on him? Is that why he's playing so well? That's why a lot of these quarterbacks backup comes in and plays lights out, and like, why is this guy not a starter? Is it because that these other teams don't have film? They don't know what.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have to look at, like, they don't really have the substance to game plan for that. Like, they don't have the body of work.
Yeah. But
I'll say they do also have the stars around that team to work around too, like such as Deebo Samuel, who unfortunately had to leave the game early too.
Yeah.
So take that into account. Just shows how well Brock Purdy.
I was gonna say they still beat the snot out of them without Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, because you have Christian McCaffrey too. I mean,
and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle and
yeah.
Joe, dare I say it? I think we literally said this before. Nate could go quarterback for the 49ers right now, and they could win some games. I think we literally said that.
100%.
I literally think.
I think we were talking about Georgia. No, we were talking about Georgia.
I have a recollection of saying that Nathaniel could go quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, and he really could.
Their offensive line and their weapons on offense
is insane.
It's insane.
Are they a Super Bowl contender?
Nate, all you got to do, take the snap, hand it to McCaffrey.
He'll throw the ball.
McCaffrey can throw the ball for you. Like, all you got to do, just take the snap.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Now, are they a Super Bowl contender now, even with Brock Purdy?
They've been a Super Bowl contender all year. Let's not get away from that fact.
I agree. No, I'm not saying I'm just saying with Brock Purdy, are they still a Super Bowl contender, I should say?
Oh, easily. It's easy. It's an easy yes for me.
And the news is saying Jimmy G is supposed to be healthy in 7 to 8 weeks, I believe, which puts you right around
the championship time,
something like that.
Division around me. My math's not too good.
I'm not thinking exactly, but again, injuries are different, so we don't know. But he's going to come sometime mid to late playoffs.
Mr. Game Manager himself.
He's going to be 100% rested. He's going to have all the time in the world to prepare for that. This could be a very interesting turn of events coming out of San Francisco. And then what does this mean, for Jimmy G next year? Because he got him into this position. There's no question.
He did, but did he do anything spectacular? No.
He didn't have to.
It's Jimmy G, Jimmy Game Manager. Like, it's in his name.
Yeah.
I think he still remains starter next year.
Quarterback. I think either Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers goes to San Francisco in the offseason.
Really?
I really do.
Where do you think Jimmy G goes?
It doesn't matter. He's not really good of a quarterback.
So you believe that Aaron Rodgers is sticking around for another season?
Not in Green Bay.
You don't think he's done after this season?
I think he signs in Green Bay. He stays in Green Bay.
He's got an extension through 2024, 2025?
Yeah, but
he doesn't have to sign anywhere. I think he gets traded to either San Francisco or Denver. They could do a little Russell Wilson shuffle if they're really hell bent on keeping Nathaniel Hackett, who I think is the real problem.
Yeah.
So, how much time we got left?
About 5 minutes.
All right.
What do you want to bring up?
I kind of want to get Nate's takes, since I don't know when we'll have him on here again, on the college football playoff games, like his takes on those.
Yeah.
So we got Michigan TCU. I want you to break that down for me, Nate.
Michigan TCU. I think it'll be a very competitive game. It's hard to say right now who I think will be the outright winner. Just because my opinion, as I said earlier with the Heisman takes, I think Max Duggan is that guy, is an absolute dog, and I think will, produce tremendously. But at the same time,
so you got to remember, he's an outright dog, but he had the best game of his life against K-State and still lost to K-State. You telling me K-State has a chance of beating Michigan on any day?
It's hard to say. It is. I mean, my takes. I like. Don't get me wrong. I'm not counting out either team right now. I think it's hard. It's a very decent toss up between these two matchups. I really do. I think it's going to be a quarterback battle, between both teams, and there's no real
Not if
set.
Blake Corum's back.
That's true.
Scorches TCU for 700 rushing yards in the first quarter.
So right now, the analytics are looking like the matchup predictor on ESPN is Michigan by 66.5% chance of winning, right? By 7.5 points is the over under, or is the spread. Yeah. So that's not that outlandish. That's not a crazy.
ESPN is trying to get some money, people to bet on TCU. Like the sports books are trying to get people to bet. Yeah, they're trying to level out the books. Because as you know, I got Michigan by a country mile. Like, it ain't close.
Way too early prediction. Go for it.
It is way too early. I mean, it's the 11th today?
Yeah.
And the game is on the 31st?
20 days away. 3 weeks.
It's Michigan by a country mile.
Michigan by a country mile.
It's Michigan by a country mile. I can't even predict the score.
All right.
147-6. Like,
all right, well,
Ohio State, Georgia, Nate.
That one I think is more going to be an absolute blowout. Like just how Georgia's been playing. Like there's no with Stetson Bennett, taking the snaps. Like there is no question.
Hey, Stetson Bennett has not been playing the last few weeks. That's the Quavius Bennett I'm talking about.
Regardless, though, I think just how that Georgia team and all together has been playing, there is no question that they're going to beat the Buckeyes, and make it to the finals.
There's, I mean, unless by an act of God that something happens, but I think Georgia's got it on lock. And I honestly, they're my pick to win everything. Their level of play is just so much better than everyone else, I think. But Michigan, I think. Well, I know you do because you're a Wolverine guy, but I think that TCU Michigan game is going to be a close game. I think Michigan's going to win it. But this Georgia Ohio State game, I kind of have a little soft spot for Ohio State. I want them to succeed, and I'd like to see them at least keep it close against Georgia. But we'll see. I don't think CJ Stroud can do it.
No, and I don't like CJ Stroud, right?
I do too. I just don't think he can.
Because I think he would be competent. I just don't know. It's I was talking. I don't know who I was talking to about this the other day, about how I think he should be a top 5 draft pick, right? I don't think, he cannot go to a team that needs him to start right away. He's got to go to
I agree.
He's got to go to a team that has a quarterback in place now that's is a placeholder, and is going to teach him to have patience and confidence at the same time, which is a hard balance for a quarterback in the NFL, especially. You got to take risks, but you got to know when to take the risk. The perfect team for me, maybe a little biased, Seattle, right? You got Geno Smith, who's playing basically a perfect season right now. I mean, yeah, they lost today. He didn't put up great numbers, but he's patient, he makes good decisions, and if Stroud can sit behind someone like that for a year, or 2, I'm not just saying 1 year, maybe it takes 2 years, just to get to learn how to play in the NFL, and especially build some confidence.
Yeah.
Stroud plays a lot like Justin Fields, not quite as athletic, plays a lot like him, and the fact that his decision making when throwing the ball is not great.
Yeah,
doesn't have the best confidence. All right, so as I was saying before our technical difficulty, I think Stroud, he's got to sit behind someone who can teach him to play in the NFL, make those good decisions. I think he'd be really successful. He's got the physical attributes for it. It's all mental with him. Makes bad decisions. He's still an athlete.
100%.
Yeah, that's where I stand on that. So, Nate, who'd you have in the first game?
In the first game, I still think it's a toss-up. I can't make if I had to pick.
You gotta make a pick.
If I gotta make a pick, I gotta say right now I would go with Michigan. Fair. Realistically, I think Michigan.
All right, so Michigan, Georgia, who you got in that?
Michigan, Georgia. I think it'll be a good game, but I think Georgia outright wins it all.
That's fair. You're wrong, but that's fair.
If I'm a betting man, I think I gotta go realistically with Georgia. Like I'm
riding blue all the way. Go blue.
It'll be interesting to see what the where the smart money is in the sports books, because you'll see, how you see percentage of bettors betting on, let's say, Michigan TCU, percentage of bettors, more percentage betting on Michigan, but then you could see more money being put on TCU, and that's where you see smart money versus dumb money, I think.
Yep.
But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in a couple weeks when we get a little bit closer. The hype becomes more real. But a lot to talk about coming up, boys. And I think that might do it for tonight. Thank you, Nate, for joining us, filling in for
boys.
Corban's absence. Dennis, always a pleasure.
Always, Joseph.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.